Welcome to the Festival of Storytellers. I thank everybody that's involved with this process because we know writers need readers and writers need publishers.
Experience is not about the publisher. It is about us, the authors.
Well, welcome to the Festival of Storytellers, day number 2. My name is Joanne Radke, and I wrote the book here, Why Is My House Always a Mess? Do you ever ask yourself that question? Well, today I want to talk about why is your house always a mess and give you some tips on quickly learning how to clean it up. Now, I've had lots of people read my book, being able to give away over 6,000 copies of e-reader. And I've had a lot of feedback of how people have loved the process. Now, what's different about my book and many other people's books on decluttering? There's lots of them out there. Well, mine is, I put the God factor in the decluttering process. Most people just go to it and do it on their own. But, sometimes we're in a pickle. What do I do with this thing? Do I keep it? Do I throw it away? Do I give it away? Do I sell it? What do I do? My great grandma's jewelry or some heirloom or just something that you bought and you're not using and you want to get rid of. And sometimes we need God to help us with the tough things. What do I do with this particular article? Well, the book starts with a spiritual foundation of putting God in your decluttering process, the God factor. And we need to change our mindsets. Why do we hoard? Are we a hoarder or are we a thrower-outer? I grew up in a family where my dad was a hoarder and he had all kinds of stuff and he would buy this and that and the other thing because what if he needed it? My mom and dad both grew up in the Depression, and Dad's way of dealing with that was, I always have to have enough. And Mom, on the other hand, was a thrower-outer. She would throw things out. If it was cluttering up the place, she would throw it out. And my dad, he'd read the newspaper at night when he got home from work, and if he threw it on the coffee table, Mom would be upset. He had to fold it up very nicely and make sure that it was exactly how it was when it came in the house. And he would put it in the book, magazine rack. And, so the house was nice and clean when he went to bed. So what are you? Are you a hoarder? Or are you a cleanie? That's something to ask yourself. Why do you hoard? Why are you a cleanie? There's a mindset there that we need to change and ask God to help us change. And that is that we don't want to collect everything and then we're just overwhelmed with stuff. We want to organize it in such a way that we can live with it or sell it or give it away or throw it out if it's no good, so that we're not living in so much clutter. Now, have you ever stopped to think, gee, how many bags of stuff have I brought in the house this week? You bring your groceries in, the stuff you buy in the store, you bring stuff from work, kids bring their stuff from school, and all that stuff accumulates. Okay, so say you've brought 10 bags of stuff in the house. The groceries you'll consume, but you'll have garbage from the boxes and bags they come in. But what about the other stuff? You bought some nice clothes this week. Have you thought of you bought 5 blouses. Have you thought of taking 5 blouses out of your closet to make it even? I have a friend who does that. Every time she buys something new, she gives something old away. That way, her closet is always neat and tidy, and she doesn't have to worry about overstocking. So my book is an interesting book. It keeps going, and it says, where do you begin? Where do we begin? If you have a home that's totally cluttered in every room, every drawer, where do you begin? I would suggest that you begin first with the small stuff. Go into the room that you use the most and that's the most messy, and start there. Or you can start by drawers. A drawer here, a kitchen drawer there, that kind of thing. And you start small. Once you've accomplished a drawer, you go to a cupboard. It's bigger, and get it accomplished. Clean it out. Now, there's lots of areas that I share how to declutter in a routine, a practical way. What do we do with all our sentimental items? I'm a collector of this or a collector of that. And when I got to my 253rd piece of the same thing, spoons or hankies or baseball cards or baseballs or whatever that you like to collect. Dolls. I had a friend whose mom collected dolls. She had a whole room for her doll collection. And well, after a while, how many dolls do you need? How many spoons do you need? How many baseballs do you need? How many hats do you need? Yes, don't bite off more than you can chew, Timothy. So we start small. Start in an area. Make a goal. Okay, by the weekend on Saturday, I'm going to clean this cupboard out. I'm going to clean this collection. So we need to set a goal and a timeline. You can say, okay, by next month, I'm going to have this room cleaned. Or by next week, I'm going to have this drawer cleaned. Different things like that, and setting time aside. It's important to set schedules and routines. We are routine people and do our best work in routine. So each chapter is 30 chapters. Basically, it's 30 days, you one a day kind of thing. Well, thank you, Ethan. He's going to start with his room this weekend. So some of the topics that I mentioned in my book, sentimental items, schedules and routine, setting goals. It's important to set goals. Closets, simplifying our wardrobe. Did you know if you had 5 to 7 tops, 3 or 4 pairs of pants and skirts, and maybe 5 jackets, you can mix and match and have over 75 different outfits. It was the same with the men. You just need to change a tie now and again. Buy a bunch of ties and have them ready with your slacks and your pants and your shirts. And you can doll it up a bit or make it more formal with a jacket. You put a tie on it, and it's even more formal. Well, thank you, Monique. Good to see you again. Glad you're watching as well. So, simplifying your wardrobe. women are really bad for this. I had a friend who every payday she'd go out and buy something, a new outfit, which is great. But after you use the second and third closet, what do? You can't wear all those clothing. And she kept her clothing for years and years and years. And she would pull something out every now and again. And she always dressed very classy. But really, in reality, she didn't need that many clothes, and we don't either. So check how many shirts she got. Check how many blouses. Check how many pairs of pants or skirts you have. Do you really need that many? And again, ask God to help you. Well, that's really good, Pauline. She says, I usually do an annual cleaning and throw or give away things I don't need anymore. So, what's the process of decluttering? Well, I like the 3-box method or 4-box method. What do I want to keep? What do I want to throw away? Garbage. What do I want to give away? And what do I want to sell? So you have 4 boxes or 4 bags in your room, and everything you declutter, you do that. Okay. Does this go in the sell, the giveaway, the keep, or the throwaway? And make that decision every time. So you go through your house and you do that one moment, one room at a time, one drawer at a time. Yeah, we all have nonsense things, Monique. It's amazing in different times when we're traveling or whatever, we see something we like or it's cute or it's fun and we pick it up. But 9 times out of 10, we never use it again. And as I get older, I don't buy nearly as much as I used to. Bob says, I can only say that my partner has too many clothes in her walk-in closet. I only got a small cabinet for mine. Yes, I've noticed that as I've gone into people's homes and helped them declutter, that men have a little closet and women have a big closet, And that's partly because, well, men, it's just basically, a pair of pants and a top, shirt and a jacket and a tie. Where women, they've got, this fancy dress and that fancy top and that fancy pair of pants. And, it's a little more fancy. So you got more to store. I have a friend who jewelry. She has a wall of jewelry. Her husband put hooks up all across the wall in her closet, and she's got an incredible array of jewelry. But she loves jewelry. She feels loved when she gets jewelry. Not very many of us have the space to be able to do that. Sometimes we need someone to nudge us through. Yes, we need each other. And that brings me to my point of it's good to have family coming and helping, teaching your children how to declutter. At Christmas time, you take the children, okay, what would you like to give to a needy child? And you go through their toys and they pick what they want to give away. 3 things you have to give away to a needy child, or you'd like to give away to a needy child. Children are very sensitive, and the declutter process. I know my mom was a clean freak, and she would clean up everywhere. And I had my own little cubbyhole. My brother had his little cubbyhole with all our treasures in it. And one day I came home from school, and my box of Sunday school papers were gone. And every week I'd come home from Sunday school and I'd put my paper in my box and lay it down and say, there's another one. And I'd go through them and I'd look at them and I'd read them and read the comics in them. And that was my little collection of Sunday school papers. When I came home and they were gone, I was devastated. And I said to Mom, what happened to my Sunday school papers? She says, they were a mess. I threw them out. But they weren't. They were nice and tidy in a box. So she threw my box out. I was devastated and very hurt. So when you have children and their stuff looks like junk to us, it isn't to them. It's their treasures. And so you very kindly ask them, what to do. What do you want me to do with this? So Christmas time, ask them, how many toys or how many things would you like to give away to a needy child? And you teach them how to bless others, how to give away, and how to let go of their stuff. We need to do that too. We need to ask our inner child, you need to let go of this. You've, hung on to it forever. And what good is it for you? What room was my room ever messy before writing this book? Yes. In fact, last summer, I decided I was going to repaint my family room. And so I've got probably about 6 bookshelves full of books and DVDs, and at that time, video cassette tapes as well. And so I just cleared everything out, pushed everything into the middle of the room, and my friend came and he painted the house, the inside of the rooms. Looked wonderful. But then I had to go through the process of cleaning out all the bookshelves. Do I want to keep this book? What do I do with this book? Do I throw it out? Do I give it away? I had already given over 600 books to my work library. And anyway, so I took all the books, put them in bags, the plastic carry-on bags. And I go and I put them in the hallway. I couldn't believe how many bags of books I had and DVDs and stuff. I put some of them in the garage, but I took a lot of them to a retreat center that I know, and they're putting them in their library. So it's out of my hands, out of my home, and I could set up the bookshelves a little more nice, not just books, but a little ornament and some books and another little picture and some books and some DVDs. And so it's not double and triple layered. It looks like a livable, nice room. In answer to your question about what room was messy, I still have to tackle my garage and one room in my basement that are messy. Well, thank you very much, Kathy. Your book is a sanctuary for those wanting to read it. I've had a lot of really good comments about my books, about this book, because I put little stories in it, not just of how to do this, but in my own situation, like living with a hoarder and a cleanie. My brother also is a hoarder, and having to deal with him and some of his issues regarding hoarding. Again, I think it's for my dad. It's because he grew up in the Depression and the war. Yes, kids do hate when their messy things in their room get touched. I agree. So that's why you have to bring the children into the process and make it fun. And you can do that. Some of the other chapters in my book, I only procure things that I need. I try to adapt a minimalist lifestyle. Yes, and that's really a good way to live. I have a friend that's very much a minimalist. You go in her home and everything's in its place. It doesn't look livable, though. It doesn't look like it's lived in. But for her, it's wonderful. You give her a gift at Christmas, it's nowhere to be seen during the rest of the year because she's such a minimalist. Hi, Bob. I really need to work on my front yard, and I hope I can learn from your book. Well, yes, it's important to keep our yards tidy, too. I had a lady that lived beside me, and her name was Elizabeth Taylor, and she was a lovely lady. She had a couple of children, but she was a collector of stuff, an antique lady. So she would go and buy stuff at all these antique places, and a lot of them ended up in the backyard or the side yard. And one day she was away, and her kids had invited friends. Her kids had said, "You can come over anytime you want. I'm going away. You can party in the house." Well, they did, and they started a fire, and the inside of the house was totally gutted. But she had so much stuff in the house. The fire department, the firemen were talking about, you know, they were there all night trying to take all these boxes out of the garage, out of the basement, so that there'd be no more fire. But the outside always looked a mess. But the smoke and the fire was so fierce that it burnt and killed all of the foliage on the fence between our houses, which was like leaves going up and stuff like that. It was really sad. I've tried helping my siblings with their kids, and they're very unruly, to say the least, but really we should still try to level with them. Yes, it's very important to do that with children. Now, if you want my book or any information regarding my book, or want some free handouts, go to www.declutter.in30days.com, and that's 30days.com. www.declutterinthirtydays.com. And there's a place there you can join my Facebook Declutter Club. You can download things, for yourself. There's also a 5-day challenge to challenge you to 5 days of decluttering your home. Manic Monday, Terrific Tuesday, Throw Out Thursday, and Fun Friday. Yeah. So right there, www.declutterinthirtydays.com. Pauline says, I think having too much stuff in a house or even in one room is not a good idea. It isn't. It actually does mess up your mind. I know for me, I work at home since COVID, and my office, I work in my bedroom, and when my desks are messy, I cannot work. I have to have a clean desk before I can start my day. And if I don't, then I have to clean it up before I can start my work, because I can't work in a messy area. And, you know, it's like that. It's like our mind is cluttered, not just our house. Okay, just talking a little more about some of the chapters. Talk about cleaning your closets, simplifying your wardrobe, going to the kitchens, minimalizing your kitchen. How many spoons do you have? How many spatulas do you have? How many whisks do you have? Do you ever think about that? When you start decluttering, you realize, oh, gee, I got 5 of these and 4 of these and 6 of these. We don't need all that. And there's a lot of people that could use our cast-offs because they can't afford to buy a new whisk or a new whatever pot or whatever. That's in our kitchens. Decluttering our living spaces so they're more livable and we can sit and relax without stuff all around us. We can have cozy, clutter-free living spaces. What about our digital spaces on our computers, our technology? Or the paper clutter, our mail and our documents. Are they in, have we opened our mail and decided what to do with them, with our mail? And what do we do with all the paper clutter that comes into our home? Not just ours, but our children's. That's great, Bob. Yeah, you'll get a lot of good stuff on www.declutterinthirtydays.com. Thanks for looking it up. Streamlining your cleaning routine. That's another way of doing it. Set a day aside for different tasks. Now, if you work full time, that's hard to do, but maybe in an evening. Monday, I'm going to clean the bathrooms. On Tuesday, I'm going to clean the floors. On Wednesday, I'm going to do the laundry. On Thursday, I'm going to do the ironing. Who irons nowadays, right? But anyway, you can do that. Set a routine. And again, children's spaces. Teaching our children the value of simplicity. I know I had, when I was growing up, I had a couple of friends that had fun play areas, neat and tidy, but fun. So one girl, she had all of these little cubicles, and each cubicle had stuff in it. Like her dolls were in one, her paint stuff and drawing was in another, and different things like that. And so you went into her place. It was very bright. It was a beautiful sunroom area, and everything was in its place. And the little girl knew if she wanted to play with a game, she'd pull the game out, play with it on the table, and put it back. If she wanted to color, she'd pull her crayons out, and then at the end of her time, she'd put it back. So we're teaching children as well how to declutter and how to look after their stuff and put it away in a proper way. Our bathrooms, our toiletries, the makeup. You know, how old is your makeup? It's important to have new makeup every month, every 3 months at the least. Our bedrooms, what do our bedrooms look like? Many homes, all the laundry's piled up on a chair, or the dirty laundry's on the floor. And, you know, can you really rest with clutter all around you? And then our garage and storage spaces. How do we clean them out? Letting go of clutter in our relationships and setting boundaries. Prioritizing time and learning how to say no. So our time can be decluttered because we've committed to too much stuff. Our mental and emotional decluttering. Do we make enough time for us to play? Do we make enough time for us to think? Do we make enough time for us to just sit back and relax? In our very fast-paced life, we need to do that. So we need to declutter our mind. We need to declutter our time. And maintaining our decluttering habits is very important. And when you go through all of this, the one last thing you should do is learn how to declutter your home spiritually. When we put the TV on and have people over, sometimes it can get heavy with spiritual atmosphere can change. Have you ever had an angry relative come for Christmas and the atmosphere in your home changes? Why is he angry? Why has he brought that into the house? You need to get rid of that. Not your relative, but the spirit behind the anger. And, you know, teaching you how to pray all that off. Yes, the God factor. I'm curious about the God factor in organizing your home and clutter. Well, if I'm a Christian, and so I invite the Lord into my life every day, into my home every day. And sometimes, you know, I don't know what to do. What do I do with this item? It was my mother's, and do I hang on to it or do I throw it out? Do I give it away or do I throw it out? Or do I sell it? What do I do with it? And God is there to help you when you're overwhelmed. You say, okay, Lord, this is too much for me. I just need your peace. Would you just come and give me your peace? Why is my house always a mess is a workbook. It's full of all kinds of questions that we get to answer. So my time is up now. So it went so quickly. But thank you for coming today. Tomorrow we're going to continue on this Why is my house always a mess? Tidbits. And I will share a couple of illustrations tomorrow when we get together again, if you can come. So come on board. And again, in the meantime, don't forget to buy my book on Amazon through www.declutterinthirtydays.com. And if you're from the States, you can buy it through Amazon US. If you're from Canada, you can click the button and buy it on amazon.ca. Okay? Well, don't miss out. Buy it now before they run out. Okay? Well, God bless, and we hope to see you tomorrow. Hi, last one. Thank you, Joanne, for sharing your stories with the world. You're welcome, Alfredo. And have a great day, everybody. Thanks for watching. Signing off now. God bless.